Dear 2023 me, I'm writing to you from a future you can't imagine right now. I know where you are. You're sitting on a cold curb across the street from a smoking ruin that was once our life. And I know you're still crying in front of the ashes. Don't be ashamed of the tears. Let them fall. Each one is a memory you're afraid of losing. I know your hands are still trembling, trying to touch a photo frame that no longer exists in this world, only in your mind's eye. You can still feel the fingertips, can't you? You can still see Dad's smile, Mom's eyes. Hold on to that. I remember that night, because it never left me. It became a part of me. A ghost that walks beside me, not to haunt, but to remind. The smell of smoke, the heat on your face, the sound of glass shattering like 1,000 breaking hearts, it's seared into you. I know, but listen to me. That night is not your end. It is your beginning. It was June 11th, 2023. A date that felt like it was branded onto the inside of your eyelids. They didn't just burn a house, they erased a universe. They erased the place where every story of us began. That old piano Mom used to play, gone. I can still hear the echo of her Chopin, the way the notes would fill every room with a gentle warmth. Now, only silence fills that space. A silence heavier than any sound. The corner where Dad read his newspaper every morning, the coffee stain on the floorboard next to his chair, his quiet ritual, gone. That worn armchair was his throne, the newspaper his kingdom. Remember the doorframe in the kitchen? The one where Mom marked our heights every year with a faded pencil line. "You're growing like a weed," she'd say. The fire ate those lines. It ate the proof that we were ever small, that we ever grew up in that house. Our home wasn't just bricks and mortar, it was a memory bank, a living library of laughter, arguments, scraped knees, and bedtime stories. And they reduced it to dust, over a lie, a rumor, a wave of anger that swept through the streets and chose us as its sacrifice. A riot. Such a small word for such a vast emptiness. You cried like a child, even though you were 28. You curled up on the pavement and sobbed for your mother, for your father, for a safety you took for granted. But pain doesn't ask your age, does it? It strips you down to the core of what you love, and then shows you what it looks like when it's gone.
The weeks that followed are a blur of grey. You slept on benches, the cold seeping into your bones, a stark reminder of the warmth you'd lost. You wore the same torn, smoke-stained hoodie for weeks, because the smell, as horrible as it was the last piece of home you had left. Friends disappeared, not out of malice, but out of discomfort. Your grief was too big, too raw. It was a mirror, and they were afraid to see their own lives reflected in your loss. The world moved on. The news cycle changed. The city healed its superficial scars, but the fire inside you didn't go out. It smoldered. For a long time, it was a fire of pure rage, a helpless, burning anger at the injustice of it all. You started talking to yourself on those benches, not because you were crazy, but because you were the only one left who remembered. You'd whisper their names to the indifferent stars, Mom, Dad, just to make sure they still existed somewhere, even if only in the cold air leaving your lungs. Then one night, shivering under a flickering streetlight, something shifted. The fire of rage flickered, and a different kind of flame took its place. It was quieter, hotter. It was the fire of a vow. You found a discarded piece of paper and a broken pencil, and you promised yourself, one day, I'll build a house so strong, even fire will fear it. You wrote it down, a contract with your own soul. I will rise. And in 2050, you did it. Oh, you have no idea. It took years. Years of working 3 jobs, of studying architecture and engineering until your eyes burned. Years of saving every penny, of sacrificing every small comfort. People called you obsessed. They weren't wrong. You were obsessed with rebuilding not just a structure, but a sanctuary. It's not just a house. It's a home designed with memories, powered by an AI that curates our past. The walls are holographic canvases, and with a word, I can see Mom playing that piano again. I can see Dad in his armchair, smiling over his paper. The AI learned them from every photo, every video we ever took. It brought their light back into the rooms. It's protected by silent, watchful drones, and its energy comes from the sun itself. It's built on love, and from materials born of fire, designed to withstand it. The first designs were all about defense. Walls of reinforced plasteel, flame-retardant foam. It looked more like a bunker than a home. It took me years to realize I wasn't trying to keep the fire out. I was trying to cage the memory of it in. The real breakthrough came when I stopped designing against the past and started designing for the future. The world finally saw what you were made of, not bricks and steel, but patience, pain, and a passion so fierce it could turn ashes into architecture.
But do you know the most beautiful thing? The part I could never have planned for back on that park bench. I didn't rebuild it for revenge. I thought I did, for a long time. I wanted to show them, whoever they were, that they couldn't break me. But as the walls went up, the bitterness came down. I rebuilt it so that someone else, like me, adrift in their own loss, could see it and not lose hope. The doors are open now to others who have lost their way. It has become a foundation, a place for new memories to be built by those who thought their own were lost forever. Every brick remembers our story. Every window whispers it to the wind. And when it rains, I still smell the ashes. It's a phantom smell, a memory locked in my senses. But they no longer hurt me. I didn't rebuild to erase the ashes. You can never erase them. I learned to build with them. They are mixed into the foundation, not as a scar, but as a testament. A reminder that what is destroyed can be remade and remade stronger. The smell of rain on ashes is no longer the smell of loss. It is the smell of survival, the smell of peace. So, if you're watching this from the past, sitting on that curb with the universe in ruins at your feet, listen to my voice. Listen to the version of you that made it through. Don't give up. Your pain is valid. Your anger is justified. But do not let them be the architects of your life. Let them be the fuel. Let them be the fire that forges you. Because one day, you'll stand again. I promise you. And when you do build something that fire can't burn, your future